Now let's read this. Let's start telling time in words. Okay? As I said, if the long hand points to 9, we say quarter. So, quarter to 1. Okay? Quarter to 1 to the upcoming hour. We do not say 12 anymore while telling time in words. We say the upcoming hour. Once the minute hand reaches the 7, we say the upcoming hour. But when I'm reading the time on the analog and digital clock, I say 12. I do not say 1 because it's not 1 yet. Okay? But I say the 1 in words because in words is a little bit different than the digital and analog clock. Okay? In telling time in words, we say how many minutes are left for it to be the upcoming hour. Okay? But in the analog and digital clock, it's totally different. Okay? We say what is the hour and how many minutes have passed after the hour. Okay? So now we are going to read the time on the analog and digital clock. Here, the hour hand is pointing between the 12 and 1. So we are going to say 12, and how many minutes? We are going to count normally by 5 till we reach number 9. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So it's 12 and 45 minutes. This is reading or telling time on the analog and digital clock. Now this one, the minute hand points to 10. Okay? So there are just 10 minutes left for it to be exactly 1. See, the hour hand is almost on the 1, okay? Because there are just 10 minutes left for it to be exactly 1. For the minute hand to be on the 12, there are just 10 minutes left, okay? I'm going to count from the opposite. 5, 10, okay? So 10 to 1. 10 to 1 means that there are just 10 minutes left for it to be 1 o'clock or exactly 1, as I said. Because when the minute hand points to 12, we say that it's exactly 1 o'clock. So if I want to read the time on the analog or digital clock, I will count normally from the side by 5s. Let's start counting. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it's 12 and how many minutes? 50 minutes. Now this one, 5 to 1. Why? Because the minute hand is pointing to 11. If I want to tell time in words, I need to start counting from, as I said, 12. Okay, I do not count from the 1, no, from the 12, because I want to tell time in words. So I start counting from the 12 by 5s. 5. So I say 5 to 1, the upcoming hour. This means that there are just 5 minutes for it to be exactly 1 o'clock. Okay, if I want to tell time on the analog or digital clock, I need to count by 5s, but from this side. Okay, so let's count together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So it's 12 and 55 minutes, because while telling time on the analog and digital, we look at the hour hand first, okay? But it's not yet 1. We still say 12. Once the minute hand reaches the 12, we are going to say it's 1. But as long as the minute hand is before 12 or is pointing before 12, we do not say 1, we still say it's 12, okay? 12 and 55 minutes. 12 and 55 minutes means that there are just 5 minutes left for it to be exactly 1 o'clock. Okay. Now, finally, this is 1 o'clock. Finally, the time is 1 o'clock. Why? Because the minute hand is pointing at or pointing to the 12, and the short hand is pointing to 1. See, it's pointing exactly to 1, and the minute hand is pointing exactly to 12. So when the minute hand is pointing to 12, we say it's 1 o'clock. And if I wanted to read the time on the analog or digital clock, I'm going to say 1 o'clock, and here 1 o'clock. The 2 zeros means that it's exactly 1. The 2 zeros, it means that the minute hand is pointing to 12. Okay, so if I want to say that the time is 1 o'clock, I use the 2 zeros in the digital clock. Okay. Finally, we've reached to the end of our session. I hope you've understood everything we talked about today, or everything related to the clock. Thank you, everyone.